You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Greetings, young Squire Sprouts. Today is the 17th day in the 9th month in the year of our Lord 2022. My name is Sir Roland Paterlot, and you're listening to Saturdays with Sir Roland on Catholic Sprouts, where every Saturday we discuss the art of dragon slaying. Today is the optional memorial of a doctor of the Church, St. Robert Bellarmine. He was a Jesuit who lived in Italy in the 16th century. He sought a holy life in the model of St. Ignatius, and was really good at teaching the truths of the Catholic faith, and so is the patron saint of catechist. So I ask for his intercession today, that I may be a worthy catechist in teaching you the art of dragon slaying. So let's continue our series on the 10 Commandments. Last week we talked about the dragon Usurpin, who tempts you to steal other people's things. And I told you that when you listen to Usurpin, or any other dragon for that matter, another dragon from Sir Wyvern Pugilist's Dragon Slayer's Manual usually tags along, and that dragon's name is Bilgewater. Bilgewater's primary task is to get you to lie. And when you're in trouble for anything, cheating at school, forgetting an assignment, breaking something in your parents' house, stealing a toy, Bilgewater will be practically screaming into your ear. Just lie about it. Don't tell him the truth. You're going to get in trouble if you do. Or perhaps you've been attacked by Braggin, that dragon who wants you to brag about yourself. Well, Bilgewater is usually in cahoots with Braggin, too. You say things like, I scored 48 points in my basketball game, when you know you only scored 24. Or maybe Stinkmouth and Bucephalus attack you and you're tempted to bully somebody you don't like or make them look bad, so you make up some kind of horrible lie and gossip about that person so that other people won't like them either. This dragon is just plain awful. And just like Usurpin, he is a direct descendant of that original dragon, Satan. In fact, do you know what Jesus said about Satan? In John chapter 8, verse 44, Jesus says, "The devil was a murderer from the beginning, and does not stand in truth because there is no truth in him. When he tells a lie, he speaks in character because he is a liar and the father of lies." The 8th commandment says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness," or "Thou shalt not lie." Lying is the character of the devil himself, and it has a horrible ripple effect of consequences that hurt many, many people. When politicians lie, or spouses lie, or parents lie, or priests or bishops lie, or children lie to their parents, or friends lie, or coworkers lie, it causes all kind of trust issues and chaos and destruction of families, businesses, and countries, and leads people away from Jesus. We must be followers of Jesus, who is the way, the truth, and the life. And our Catholic faith leads us to what is good, true, and beautiful. Dragons lead us to what is evil, false, and ugly. So let me tell you a story from my own childhood that illustrates the ripple effect of listening to dragons and lying. When I was a kid, we would have an Easter egg hunt inside our house on Easter morning. They were real eggs that had been colored for Easter, and we knew how many eggs needed to be found. Well, one year, I was getting frustrated because I couldn't find all the eggs. There was one missing, and I just couldn't find it. Then Slackbottom attacked me, and I got lazy and decided to give up. But Braggin was also attacking me, and I was too prideful to admit that I couldn't find them all. So guess who showed up next, whispering into my ear? That's right, Bilgewater. I told my mom I found all the eggs, and figuring a little lie wouldn't hurt anything. Well, I thought nothing of it for several months. Then, one day that summer, I woke up, and our house smelled awful. I thought, P.U., something smells rotten. So then I proceeded to go to the bathroom cupboard and find the Poopery air freshener and spray it all over the house to try to cover up the smell. Now the house kind of smelled like rotten potpourri. After a while, I stopped noticing the smell. The reason is important, and another important lesson you'll need in dragon slaying. You see, your olfactory nerve in your brain is in charge of the sense of smell. It has little receptors that act like sponges to soak up the scent in the air, and your brain perceives and remembers that scent, such as wood burning, or a musty basement, or fresh peeled orange, or the whiff of body odor from your little brother who hasn't bathed in a week. But a sponge can only hold so much water until it is saturated. In the same way, your olfactory nerve can only hold so many molecules of scent, i.e. smell. If you expose yourself to a scent for a long time, you eventually can't smell it anymore because you saturated your olfactory nerve. That's what I call smell saturation. Take note, these statements have not been verified by any medical association, but they do work well for my analogy. Now, smell saturation is why when you neglect to take a bath for a week and your parents tell you you're turning into that stinky kid, you reply by simply saying, "Well, I don't smell anything." You, of course, are exposed to your own smell for 24 hours a day on most days, so your olfactory nerve is saturated with your own stench. So needless to say, I eventually got used to the rotten egg smell because of the effect of smell saturation. But then my friend came over to our house, and as soon as he walked in the door, he cringed and covered his mouth and nose and started gagging. He asked, "What is that awful smell?" And I replied, "Oh, I don't know, but let me spray some more potpourri and then you'll get used to it." Well, as it turned out, the rotten smell was the egg I didn't find 3 months earlier. It was the one underneath the china cabinet. Should have looked there. The wretched and awful smell I was experiencing was the consequence of leaving an Easter egg sit in our house under the china cabinet for 3 months. The incident is the reason that indoor Easter egg hunts with real eggs were banned in my childhood household since the year of our Lord 988. Or maybe it was 1988. I can't be expected to remember every detail. But here are the lessons I want you to take away from this story. Number 1, lies will eventually come back to haunt you and leaving you smelling like the stench of a dragon. Number 2, smell saturation applies to dragons too. If you allow a dragon to hover near, the dragon will often disappear, so beware. That means the dragon isn't actually going to go away, but you won't recognize it anymore. So the first time you tell a lie, your well-formed conscience might make you feel really guilty, and you will spiritually smell the dragon stench. That's a good thing. You want to recognize the dragon so you can run to confession and slay it. But the more you lie, the less guilt you feel, and soon Bilgewater is following you around like your pet. Except you aren't the dragon's master, the dragon is your master, pulling your leash to wherever he wants you to go. And a terrible habit of lying is formed, causing massive damage and destroying many friendships and relationships along the way. So for this week, ask the following questions in your examination of conscience to see if Bilgewater has influenced you in any way. Have I failed to always tell the truth to myself, God, and others? Have I gossiped or shared information I shouldn't have? And until next week, I leave you under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Hey, parents and kids. This week's resource for our Dragon Slayers Training Guild is a free downloadable coloring page of the dragon Bilgewater from Sir Wyvern Pugilist's Dragon Slayers Manual. If you're not yet a member of our Dragon Slayers Training Guild, then you are missing out, as over 1,300 kids get cool ideas and resources in our weekly email, and we would love to have you join us for free. Just go to extraordinarymission.com/dragonslayers. And remember, listen to Catholic Sprouts every day, including Saturdays with Sir Roland.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.